Okay, everybody, I was surprised by this one. So this is Emancipation Media talking about Steve Bannon says FBA should represent 20% of Silicon Valley and not before they need to compete with illegal migrants. So FBA's, I forget exactly what it stands for, but it's blacks that have been here since slavery. So like ADOS, basically.
There's this clip going around of Steve Bannon speaking about, all the foreign nationals that's been dominating, Silicon Valley. But I want you to check out what he says about, immigration and how has it really been affecting definitely FBAs. But check this out.
Why should an American citizen, his family's been here 5 or 6 generations, that can go to college, get a degree, and is smart enough, why should they have to compete against the world on the territory inside the United States? It's not fair. Until Silicon Valley, until these places have, 20% African American and 20% Hispanic, I'd like to put an exit visa on every college graduate, foreign student that graduated from college here.
So he said he'd like to put an exit visa on every foreign student that graduated college here, where Trump said he'd like to give every college graduate a green card for every foreign student that graduated college here. But basically Bannon is saying that he wants to see more Americans, be they black, Hispanic, get college educations and then focus on that rather than spending the money to bring other people in, like I've been saying. Focus on the education here at home and get Americans to be able to qualify for those jobs.
In 30 days to leave and go back home and help make their nation great again. And we shouldn't take any foreign students in community colleges. That should be.
And help make their nation great again. Like, if he's being serious, that really sounds like a left-wing communist style type of deal, because we want all nations of the world to be great. We all want to come together and become one big world. But I don't know if he's on board with that.
That should be for American citizens, particularly for African Americans and Hispanics. They're never going to get up the economic chain unless we do this. You're not going to get folks into high value added post-industrial jobs based around artificial intelligence or coding or anything like that until we make the engineering schools and computer science schools available.
Exactly.
Right now we don't. This is the reason. It's not about intelligence. It's about access to opportunity. This is why Silicon Valley has virtually no African.
It's about access to opportunity. Okay, I don't know many right-wingers who talk like this. That is what we want. The left wants equal access to opportunity, not equal outcomes. Nobody wants equal outcomes. You can't have equal outcomes. But this man over here is a communist.
Americans and no Hispanics. It's de minimis. They have to compete against the whole world for those jobs. And this is one of the reasons you're seeing the seething anger is that people aren't getting good jobs. And one of the reasons they're not getting good jobs, they have to compete against the whole world here in the United States. It's simply not.
Yes, people have been speaking about that for years.
Imagine had Trump talked like that. Like, he talked a pretty decent game. Like, he has his little rhetoric, and he's good at it. But imagine how many black people would have voted for him had he said something like, "Oh, we need 20% of Silicon Valley to be black." But I mean, I can see 13%. We represent 13% of the population, so we should represent 13% pretty much everywhere if it were an equal thing. But again, not worried about equal outcomes, more worried about equal opportunity.
That FBAs aren't in Silicon Valley. Not that we're not smart. We have a lot of smart brothers. So as a matter of fact, if you get an FBA that went to college, we had to be 10 times better.
You got to tell Charlie Kirk.
We always have to be 10 times better because that's the way the American system is. That black people have to be 10 times better. So if you get an FBA that's trained and college educated, you're going to get somebody extremely smart. Let's call it what it is.
Even if he's a pilot, Charlie Kirk.
And they purposely keep us out because they don't want FBAs to get that technological knowledge and create their own companies, their own software, their own AI. You understand what I'm saying? They want to now. When Steve Bannon said it should be 20% FBA, 20% Hispanic, and I guess what? Well, how much Asian? Because you didn't mention Asian, and how much white? You didn't mention white. But even though we can really get down to being picky about that, the main thing that what he was saying is we don't have 20% of FBAs in Silicon Valley right now. We don't. It's somewhere around, I think, barely 1%. So to go from barely 1% to 20%, that's a big jump.
Quite a jump.
That's also a big jump in capital. that can come to the Black American community.
Right.
Because those jobs sometimes paying $75 to $100+ an hour. You understand what I'm saying? And black folks want to make that kind of money for their family. But we should
who
not
don't?
be prioritizing foreign nationals, flying them in here to any of those jobs when you got FBAs that can do these jobs. So I'm always going to support policies that's put America first. I'm always going to support policies that talk about mass deportation, because there's a lot of FBAs are suffering right now when I can't even get a job because these companies are prioritizing foreign nationals. So, Steve Bannon, definitely not one I've agreed with a whole lot of times.
Exactly. But these countries investing in foreign nationals, invest in schools. Again, Elon Musk, $250 billion. You could build $1 billion school in every state, still have $200 billion. What are you doing? Why aren't you doing something for people? I'm going to go to Mars. Stupid. If you made better schools, you would have more help, more engineers, more rocket scientists to help you get to Mars. We'll send you away. Go. Bye.
But he's extremely spot on. But I will say this also about Steve Bannon. He also called out the election with black men. And he had called out, I remember when he did it, they made a big deal about it. He said it's going to be more black men voting this time for Trump than it was the last time. He called it right down the middle, and that's what ended up happening. Because I guess he can just see the writing on the wall with some of these things. He said we got a big inroad with black men. Why? Because black men want to provide for their families.
Right, who
Black
don't?
men want to work a career. Black men want to be entrepreneurs. That's why it's a little bit more attractive to hear America First policies and mass deportation, so black men don't have to, like he said, compete with people undercutting salaries, undercutting.
Again, this whole capitalist competitive society. Can we not have a more cooperative society? Can we not work together? Let's be the human team.
It's undercutting that, and black American men, lose out, or just black people in general lose out. So I can definitely rock with a 20% increase, definitely, for Silicon Valley. So this country was built by FBAs. It wasn't built up by all these foreign nationals. So why do they get prioritized? And I'm always going to say that.
That does make some sense, though, right? Like, we built this country, and we've always been shat on, right? We've always been pushed down, pushed to the bottom through Jim Crow, redlining, all that different stuff. Like, it doesn't make any sense. So, but anyway, yeah, that's I just saw that video a little bit ago, and Steve Bannon is not somebody I share a lot of opinions with, like he said. But I thought that was just a pretty good video. I thought that was some decent ideas just to put out there. And again, like I say, keep getting information from across the spectrum.